So what I'm going to do, once we put the brace on, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take round the sound hole, we are going to put a piece of wood around like that. But my grain of the top here is running like this. That's this grain's running here, you can see it.
Okay, cool.
This guy, we're going to run like that. It's very weak over here, but very strong over there. So this part here will be strengthened by this grain of the wood underneath, and this one's going to be strengthened by that one over there. See how they're working together. Okay. There is a bit of a flat side on one end. They're very delicate, that's why they've been transported like that. But can you see it's been cut flat on one side?
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, it will not fit in the body because the body comes in very close, and that will fit now. Right, so how are we going to do that? We're now going to glue that on. So when I've glued that on, I'm going to put in position, and then I'll put that piece on top there like that. And then this square piece that I've given you goes there like that. Okay? And then we give you clamps, and you clamp it like that. In the middle, you can do one over there, like that. One over there. You can actually put it a bit lower, like that. And maybe 4 clamps per one, like that, or even 3. But put 4 on to be safe. I've got a lot of clamps here. Another one over there. Okay. And then we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're then going to work out now where to put the other pieces. So this can just sit on your bench like this. And then we're going to work out by drawing with a ruler exactly where we're going to put the braces. So what I do now is I see the distance between them is 40. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to measure half of 40 because there's the middle. So I could just put my ruler like that on any number there, like a 150, and then I'll count 1, 2 is 20. Exactly. Make a mark. 1, 10 millimeters, 20 millimeters there. Okay, so there's the mark there, and there's the mark there. Then I have an approximate, it's about 120. So there's this thing. If you measure that, it's about 120 millimeters. See? Mm-hmm. So I take that and I just put it here to see approximately where I am. Around about here. See that?
Yes. 120.
It's about there.
Yes.
So what I do on that point now. Okay, so that measurement is actually 257, not 267. You see there, it is there, 257.
Yeah, 257.
So I'll come down from there now. 257 is here. Okay. And I now draw a line across there. But now, what I do is I've got to get it sort of straight there. So I put this 100 line there.
Up and down.
And you see it's touching there, it's touching there. And there's my piece. And then this one over here is 115. Let me see if I've got the measurement here. It's going to come off at 90 degrees. We can just do it straight over here. And the distance between there and there is 53.
And what should be the distance between here and there? Or it doesn't matter?
Sorry, what must be?
The distance between here and there.
No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Whatever the piece of wood is.
And the final question is, why is this 90 degrees and not straight as this?
Because I want to get as much brace on here. And this, when I'm playing here, that. This is my bass side of the instrument here.
Okay.
So I want more wood open here and tighter here.
Okay.
You see, so the instrument can give me more bass on this side.
Okay.
If I had the string for left-handed, then I'd do the other way around.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so that's how I'm going to glue it now. So that'll come here. That one is the same length, it's going to come here. Then we're going to cut the shorter one to fit in there. It does fit already almost. See, it's nearly fitting. And then that one is going to come there like that.
Nice
It
one.
is fitting, huh?
Nice one.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you just need to cut that little piece out
Yes.
so it can flush.
Yeah, we'll cut that now. Well, once you've drawn it, then we're going to fit it. So now I take a clamp like this, and I just go and I put that on there like that. But make sure that it squeezes nice and firm. And when you put it on, you want to see a little bit of glue oozing out there, just like it is there. You can see the little balls coming out there. Perfect. And now we leave that. We're going to do the other side. And then we leave that for, again, about 45 minutes. And then we're going to take it off and clean it. And then we'll glue the other two on. While this is gluing on here, and you've got this one, we're going to then let this set. And then we're going to glue the two braces inside here. All right. Right, so I take this now, and the flat side must be towards me, or towards the angle must be towards the waist. So whatever's cutting off on the waist, the angle must be to where the waist is going to be. So I'm not going to cut like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it around, and because that's straight, and I want that part to be straight for me. So I get that on the line, I'll position it nicely on the line, get my chisel to be vertical, in other words 90 degrees to the top, and then I'll just press down, and it'll cut easy. Okay. Much nicer than a saw will cut.
Yeah.
In this instant. And there you can see the little piece that's cut off. Okay, and there's my angle, and if that is the angle that I need in there, I can then put it in, and I can now set that angle. Don't worry about getting that exactly the same angle as the edge, because when we are shaping the braces, I'm going to scallop that. We are going to scallop that off to a point. So we're going to cut this thing down. So you're going to have no joint there whatsoever. Zilch.
Okay, but do you actually want them touching the sides, or should
Doesn't
they be
matter.
slightly away? Okay.
Doesn't matter. If you happen to cut it a bit too short, it's not going to be a challenge. The function of this brace is to stop any cracking happening on here. It might not, it's not guaranteed, but it's going to slow down definitely. Because you can imagine now, I've got this piece of wood in here that is now glued across the grain here. It's not a very big piece of wood, so it's now going to, sorry, that C will be the other way around. It's not going to inhibit on the movement of this, because you've got to allow the wood to move. And that's why I'm going to take it away from the edge over there. So if it doesn't touch the edge, not critical. But don't go and leave like a whole centimeter. It must be close.
Why do we really need to put all this? Because I think this is already strong. Why do we need it?
Very thin here. And if you go to a very hot climate, it could shrink and crack. And this will help it to stop it crack.
A crab, very hot.
And it's not so much heat, it's the humidity. So if I go to the Sahara Desert with zero humidity, I'm going to have a challenge. My instrument, especially if you've got a stringed instrument like a violin or guitar, it's actually not going to be playable. You're going to have to do all sorts of adjustments to it to make it to play. I now measure in about 20 millimeters, approximately 20 millimeters in on the brace. And I'm marking 20 mil on all of them. Okay. And then you can take a chisel, doesn't matter what size it is, they all work, okay? And I now take the chisel, all right? And I cut that away like that. Cut down. And I go down to approximately 1 millimeter thick on the end.
Okay.
You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll do the other side. So I come down here now, I'll do the same. Okay. Until I'm about 1 millimeter thick, and I want to create like a little curve on that. Now, that's the easy part. I can even go a little bit more. Let's go down to about 1 millimeter. And there we go. Now what I do is I take this brace and I shape off just the corner off like that. Don't go and take too much off. Okay, do the same on this side here. And be careful, especially with a bigger chisel, that it doesn't cut into where you've sanded nicely. You see what I mean? So be very careful not to let the point touch on the body. Do the other side now here. There.
It's like a burst or
And there. And that's it. We're going to now measure in 20 millimeters on the end of all the braces. Exactly the same as before, okay? So 20. And you carry on doing it all around 20, yeah? Now, I'll do the ones that are hard over here, because they're in all sorts of funny places. Right, and then here as well. The procedure is identical to doing the back braces. Exactly the same. You're going to shape the brace and we're going to take off the corners and sand it and get it to look exactly the same. Please make sure that it's clean underneath the table, that there's nothing underneath, because if you clamp it, it'll bend and it could split the top. Right, and I'll cut away. There it goes. You can either do this one first, or you can do the other two. So I'm going to step around this side now. Come and stand here. You can also sit and do it if you want. Doesn't matter. I prefer to stand because I've got more control. The smaller chisel will be more effective here, but if you only have a big one, you make do with what you've got. And there we go. Okay, go down a bit more if you can. It is more tricky with a bigger chisel, but it's possible. Okay, and here. And then lastly, I finish off this one here. You want to go same, about 1 millimeter thick on the end. Do the same over here, same over there, same over there, and same on here. So I'm going to sand my brace, and then I'm going to take that edge off the sound hole brace. And watch what I'm going to do to the sound hole brace now. I can just do it just with sandpaper.
All the way around.
All the way around.
On both sides of the sound.
Both sides of the sound hole.
Cool.
And I'm making it so that it's going to be a very nice round. And you see that sharp edge there? I'm going to take it off. Make it nice and round. And you just make it so that it's very nice to feel.
Amen.
Feels good at place.
Okay. And then the same to the braces that you did before. Bevel them and then shape them. I don't have to show you how to do that because you've done them already.
so you're gonna do all round.
All round, right round the sound hole. And then when sanding the sound hole, you're going to finish it off with a 320 grit. Eh? Okay, so I'm going to line it up here and check that the line is at the back in the middle over there. Is it in the center?
Hold on.
Maybe a little bit off like that.
There, that's all.
Okay. So now I look down the middle and just approximately I just make a dot in the center there like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, really simple.
And then what I do is I take this label and I just put it approximately on the middle of the dot there and I get it in the middle like that. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then you just take a piece of masking tape. You can tear, you don't need a lot. And I put that there. So, yeah. Check it again once you've got it in position. Just raw like that. Put your top on and then make sure that it's in the right spot according to your marks. And once that's ready, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that and then we're going to start to glue them on. So what I do is I take and I put a little bit of glue on here like that, just a bit. You don't need much, don't need a lot on the label. Alright. That's far too much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the label here now like this with my fingers.
Yes.
Okay.
And you stir it.
And I dip my finger in there like that,
Yeah.
and I then spread the glue there like that.
Okay.
But you see, I'm not moving the label. It's not going to get contaminated by the glue. When I've done that much like that, I pull it away and I go to a new spot, turn it over. You've got to be quick because if I stick my finger on here, it's going to stick on there and it's going to pull the paper off. So I use my nail and I just spread
The rest of it.
the rest of it like that. Now, take that and place it carefully. One shot. You can't slide it. It won't slide, eh? Make sure your fingers don't wipe it with a wet finger. Eh?
Sweet.
And then now carefully, with your dry finger, you just rub it like that to get all the air out. And that is it. Well done. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Now that label, when it dries, will never, ever come off. And then when you're finished, obviously, just clean the bench. Then don't rub the glue too long because otherwise it'll tear the paper because the paper is soft.
How's my technique?
It's fine, but you won't have control. Use your fingernail like that. It'll be better.
Don't even have them. I cut because of the kitchen.
Just hold with your finger then, it's okay.
Okay, sir.
Right, so now, when I put the glue on here, glue is very much like me throwing oil on the floor. You walk and you're going to slip. So as I put the clamp on, there's a very good chance that this is going to want to slip. So we've got to hold it in the position that we want to keep it in now, like this, until I get the clamp on and let the glue just bite. If I can get a clamp on the glue and I let it sit there for even 2 minutes, it bites and then it won't slip further on, and then I can progress all around here. I now put this piece over the edge here like that. Sorry, I want to just slide this. Can I move this? Yes. Thanks. I just want to slide all this over here. So let's get all the clamps on this side. And this is a big step, guys. This is now our top is going on, and this instrument is now ready to be worked on. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. Now what I'm doing is I'm clamping this on here, and I'm going to make this nice and tight here. It's still free here, it's not fixed. Now also, we don't go and put tons of glue on here because I don't want the glue to run down into my instrument. Okay, so I've got cloth there. I'm now going to change the water now. So I now put glue on everywhere around here. So we think we've done everything, labels in, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. Brush, is there a little brush around here? Paint brush? Here we go. Oh, that's fine. Okay, thanks. Just want to make sure that there's no dust on here. And away we go. Now, where's Eddie? Is he here? He's on the phone. He's on the phone. Because Eddie is going to win the prize for using the most glue. He's the glue king of this course. You always get guys who just don't believe that you mustn't put too little glue on, and they go ballistic. So I want to get a nice layer of glue. And then what we do is we're going to wait just about 2-3 minutes. And in this temperature, it is good because the glue will cure quickly because it's hot, especially with the aircon on. Now that center line that we've got on the back here, we must not lose that center line. We're going to need that's the back here on the end there. Do not take that center line away because once this thing is on, It's a very difficult, you can't measure on here to get the center line. It's very difficult, no square corners, but we have it there now, so let's keep it there. And I'll also make sure that I get a bit of glue in that joint there like that. There we go. That's it. We don't have to wipe the glue off. And I'll let that set for a few seconds. Now you can say goodbye to the inside of this instrument. It's going to be disappearing soon.
That apartment I can't afford.
It's raining down there. Okay. Hello. So we're ready to go now. Now we cannot put this thing on and slide and slide and slide. It's got to go on as it goes on. Finished. End of story. So what I do is I put that in there. Make sure that I've got the glue oozing out. And then as I come down now, I'm going to get these two to line up like that. Okay. Are we still in the middle there? In the end, you can't see it. We'll check it now. We'll check it now when I remove this. So once that's in position, good. Okay, so now I can take this off. And we can now clamp. So one will come on the end here. That. There. That goes on the bottom block. And then I can now spread these out like that.
Because you have
That core, yeah.
the two runners are stuck on you.
Okay.
So even if you try to
Should be about 8 or 9 pins. Good one. There we go. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Right, that's it. And now we wait for that to dry. We'll let this dry fully till tomorrow. So Shane is going to go first because this is his instrument. The cutter is sharp, so the sharper the cutter, the better it will cut. The more blunt the cutter, the more it's going to burn, the more it's going to chip.
Damage.
Okay, so let's go. Ready?
I'm not a way, brother.
If you feel that you come away like mist, then go. When you finish the cut, just go back and go over it one more time. It'll clean it. When you finish, before we take it off, just feel, and you'll feel if there's any bump at all around there. That's pretty good. Okay. Right, who's next?